There comes a time in every man's life when he stands in front of a mirror and doesn't recognize the person staring back at him. Not because he's physically changed, but because deep inside, he knows something vital is missing. He feels anxious for no reason. He's afraid to speak his mind. He shrinks back when others dominate the room. He doesn't feel like a man. He feels like a scared little boy in a man's body. And no matter how many motivational videos he watches, how many books he reads, or how much he lifts in the gym, the truth haunts him. He's not living with power. He's not living with purpose. He's not living with presence. But there is a way back, or rather, a way forward. A way that has existed for centuries, practiced by warriors, monks, and kings. A way that turns cowards into conquerors, boys into men, and men into legends. That way is semen retention. You see, society has lied to you. From a young age, you were told that releasing is natural, even healthy. You were conditioned to believe that the more you indulge in pleasure, the better off you'll be. You were never taught about the power you were giving away. Every time you gave in to lust, every time you couldn't control your urges, you were handing over your strength, your confidence, your fire. Think about it. When you release your seed, what are you really giving up? You're not just releasing fluid. You're releasing life force, your masculine energy, your ambition, your will to fight. That very energy is what fuels your dreams, your drive, your dominance. It's what builds nations and conquers fears. But waste it, and you become hollow. You become impatient, reactive, easily offended, emotionally weak. You start chasing validation instead of earning respect. You become addicted to comfort instead of thriving in chaos. That's the problem most men face today. They've been robbed of their inner warrior. They're constantly distracted, sexually drained, spiritually confused. They look strong on the outside, but inside, they're afraid. Afraid to speak up, afraid to fail, afraid to be disliked. Their backbone is soft, and their spirit is silent. And the worst part, they think that's just how life is. But deep down, something whispers, there has to be more. And there is. There is more. There is a path that reconnects you with your raw masculine power. A path that requires sacrifice, but gives back tenfold. When you retain your seed, you're not just avoiding temptation. You're commanding yourself. You're telling your mind and body, I am the master here, not my urges, not my lust. That's when everything starts to change. In the first few days, you begin to notice an edge, a subtle fire building inside you. Your thoughts are clearer. Your body feels more alive. You stand taller. You walk with purpose. You no longer feel the need to impress anyone. You stop seeking attention and start commanding it. That's the beginning of transformation. As the weeks pass, the boy inside you begins to fade. The one who was afraid to look people in the eye, afraid to stand up for himself, afraid to speak truth. He's replaced by someone different, someone bold, someone still, but powerful. You begin to enjoy solitude. You stop chasing meaningless pleasure. You start working harder, speaking deeper, training harder. You begin to understand patience, not just as a word, but as a weapon. You realize that semen retention isn't just about controlling your lust. It's about building your legacy. It's about becoming a man who can suffer without breaking. A man who can delay pleasure for greatness. A man who walks into a room and commands respect, not because he's loud, but because his presence is undeniable. His aura speaks before he does. You go from being afraid of rejection to embracing it. Why? Because rejection no longer defines you. You no longer need approval from others to feel complete. You've cultivated something within that no one can take away. Your masculinity becomes rooted in your discipline, not your desires. And when that happens, you become unstoppable. Pain doesn't scare you anymore. Failure doesn't paralyze you. Being misunderstood doesn't bother you. Because now, you're a man who knows that real power doesn't come from being liked. It comes from being respected. And respect only comes when you live with self-control, with conviction, with courage. That's what semen retention gives you. If you're really struggling to practice semen retention, and you feel like it's too hard, maybe there is a deeper root cause inside you. I suggest you read The Art of Not Forcing. It's a book that teaches you how to embrace effortless action through the ancient principles of Wu Wei. Learn how to overcome tough challenges in life effortlessly. If you're interested, the link is in the description below. With semen retention, you begin to see the world differently. Women are no longer distractions. They are sacred. You treat them with honor, not hunger. You no longer chase because you are the mountain now. You don't need to prove yourself. You are proving yourself every day by what you don't give in to. And the world begins to notice. Your eyes have depth. Your voice has weight. Your handshake is firm, not flimsy. You stand up for what's right, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. You start standing up for others too, not out of pride, but out of principle. When you see someone weak being taken advantage of, you intervene, not because you want praise, but because the warrior inside you won't stay silent. You've felt weakness, you've lived with fear, and now that you've overcome it, you fight for those who haven't yet. That's what makes you dangerous to evil and a shield to the innocent. You're no longer the man who avoids confrontation. You face it. You're no longer afraid to feel emotion. You just no longer worship emotion. You can cry and still be a warrior. You can be humble and still be fierce. Because semen retention doesn't make you hard-hearted. It makes you iron-willed. It teaches you how to flow with life rather than resist it. When you're no longer a slave to lust, you become aware of something deeper. You start to feel guided. Call it the spirit, God, the universe, whatever you call it. It's real. You stop forcing life to go your way and start aligning with a higher path. You become calm in chaos. You accept your flaws. You accept that you'll never be perfect. And that realization no longer weakens you. It strengthens you. Because now you're living truthfully. You're living with integrity. You're no longer the guy who crumbles under pressure. You're the man who stands tall even when the whole world tries to break him. Semen retention doesn't just turn you into a man. It turns you into a warrior. A fearless, clear-minded, mission-driven warrior. And in this world, we don't need more nice guys. We need more warriors. Men who can lead. Men who can protect. Men who can endure. Most people will never walk this path. They'll laugh at it, mock it, avoid it, because it's hard, because it takes sacrifice. But that's the point. That's why it works. Because the warrior's path has never been crowded. It's walked by the few who choose mastery over mediocrity. And if you're still watching this, then maybe you're one of them. So the next time you feel that urge rising, that temptation whispering in your ear, pause, breathe, and remember who you are. Remember the warrior you are becoming. Because every time you resist, you rise. Every time you retain, you reclaim. This isn't just about energy, it's about identity. Semen retention is not a trend. It's not a trick. It's the ancient, proven, powerful path from weakness to strength, from fear to faith, from boy to man, from man to warrior. And the world needs that warrior now more than ever. If you made it until here, leave a crown emoji in the comments. I'm doing a little experiment, and I want to see how many of you reach the end and are truly willing to finish what they start. And remember, live with honor or die a coward. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and stay strong out there.